Hey friends, my name is Jason Clemens, and this is the 20th installment of our Big Book study. We're going to start at the very bottom of page 63 in our text, the Big Book called Alcoholics Anonymous. Next, we launched out on a course of vigorous action, the first step of which is a personal house cleaning, which many of us had never attempted. Though our decision was a vital and crucial step, it could have little permanent effect unless at once followed by a strenuous effort to face and to be rid of the things in ourselves which had been blocking us. Our liquor was but a symptom. So we had to get down to causes and conditions. Therefore, we started upon a personal inventory. This was step 4. A business which takes no regular inventory usually goes broke. Taking a commercial inventory is a fact-finding and a fact-facing process. It is an effort to discover the truth about the stock in trade. One object is to disclose damaged or unsaleable goods, to get rid of them promptly and without regret. If the owner of the business is to be successful, he cannot fool himself about values. We did exactly the same thing with our lives. We took stock honestly. First, we searched out the flaws in our makeup which caused our failure. Being convinced that self, manifested in various ways, was what had defeated us, we considered its common manifestations. Let's go to the study portion. We are at the bottom of page 63, the last paragraph. Quote, "Next, we launched out on a course of vigorous action, the first step of which is a personal house cleaning, which many of us had never attempted. Though our decision, step 3, was a vital and crucial step, it could have no permanent effect unless at once followed by a strenuous effort to face and to be rid of the things which had been blocking us. Our liquor was but a symptom, so we had to get down to causes and conditions. So we don't wait a year to move from step 3 to step 4. That is the meaning of next, right? Remember, our decision is of little value unless it is accompanied by action, vigorous action. What is the purpose of step 4? In this step, we will identify and get rid of those things that had been blocking us. From what? Blocking us from God's grace and our ability to live happy, joyous, and free. Here again is where many people get tripped up. Step 4 made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. First, let's examine the word fearless. Bill was at heart a businessman. He wrote from a businessman's perspective in this case. When conducting an inventory for a grocery store, for example, we look to be rid of damaged, rotten, and unsaleable goods that prevent us from being profitable. From a businessman's perspective, fearless means without regret, without emotion. When we discard a rotten head of cabbage, we have no emotional attachment to it. We just get rid of it so that we can put a nice fresh head of cabbage in its place. We need to treat the things that block us from God's grace in the same way as a rotten head of cabbage. Next, let's look at the word moral. Immediately, the alcoholic thinks of the Sunday preacher pointing out the moral decay and failings in his flock. In this context, however, we should really equate moral with truth, the truth about the stock in trade. Let's look at paragraph 1 on page 64. Taking a commercial inventory is a fact-finding, searching, and a fact-facing, fearless process. It is an effort to discover the truth, moral, about the stock in trade. So we are identifying all that prevents us from being a successful enterprise, from having a shot at a happy and useful existence. If the owner of the business is to be successful, he cannot fool himself about values. In other words, we have to become honest with ourselves about ourselves. We begin by searching out the flaws in our makeup that caused our failure. Being convinced that self, manifested in various ways, was what had defeated us, we considered its common manifestations. What did we learn earlier? Selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. There it is again. Self, not alcohol, was the problem. Alcohol was the symptom. Excuse me. With our next post, we'll discuss the roots of resentment and thoroughly define that which AA believes to be the number one offender. Have a great day.